What's up, YouTube? It's the Big Kahuna back again with another video. Now, first of all, I'd like to apologize because lately I've been trying to upload videos, and usually when I'm on my way to work, I'll upload a video or two before I go to work. Get to work, check them on my phone to see who's commented. Should I comment to this person, that person, just to see who's commenting on the video? And then I'll notice that the video will say 3 seconds, or it'll say 29 seconds, or whatever. Well, I'm letting all my subscribers, my friends, know that these videos that I'm uploading are not on purpose. There is some type of problem, and that's the reason why you're only getting 3 seconds or 29 seconds. This is not something I'm just doing just to be ha or trolling or any of that. So I apologize to that once again, and on to today's video. So the last video I did, as I started off in that video, was sadly enough about 1080p. And one of the comments I got was, people still talking about 1080p. Hell yeah, they still talking about 1080p. The reason why you're going to keep hearing this subject come up and up and up and up is because, like I said before, it's one way for one group of people to try to say our console is better than your console because we can do 1080p and you should be over here because we have 1080p. But when they're saying we have 1080p, they make it seem like every single game on their console is native 1080p, and that's just not the case. And as I stated before, you can come at me all you want. Remember, I'm the guy that had PlayStation 4, and I sold it. Now, I'm not going to say in other cases there have been other people who had both systems and said, you know what, this XP1 is just not doing it for me. It doesn't have the games I want. And then they trade their XP1 in. That's going to be the case on either side. And for those people who are going, what? Yes, there's going to be people who have the Wii U who do the same thing. Trade theirs in. That's just the facts. That's not my opinion. That is the facts. People are going to do it on both sides no matter what. And you probably will have some people who are on this side of the fence who are going, how could you trade the XP1 in and not trade in that piece of shit PlayStation 4? Now, am I saying the PlayStation is a piece of shit? No, I'm just saying this is how some people will react. Because that's how people reacted when I sold my PlayStation. That how could you sell that and keep the other thing? Plain and simple. I have fun on this. Well, how could you have fun on this but not have fun on the PlayStation? It has more games. Yeah, it has more games. But none of those games, unfortunately, cater to me. And that's why I've always mainly gravitated toward the Microsoft platform over the PlayStation. Now, I will be getting another PlayStation as soon as they start coming out with shit I want. Until then, I'm going to be over here rocking out with the XP1. So, let's move on. So, unfortunately, like I said, I was talking about 1080p, and it's something that's never going to die. As long as there is a group of people who feel the need to say, I purchased this console, and you have to like it too because it's better than yours because I got more 1080p, it's going to continue to go on. And for the record, I like to state, you shouldn't come at me and try to push 1080p anyway. Because if anything, that would just push me to go get a PC because they have all the 1080p over there. But I don't like that platform, so I'm not going to do that. And quickly, I even thought about getting a Alien Alpha. Now, the PC elitists swear that PC is all the bee's knees and swear up and down that you have to go PC. Most of these fuckers told me, oh no, you don't want to mess with that. That's trash. You don't want to mess with that. But wait a minute, it's a PC, isn't it? 1080p, all that glorious stuff that upgrading, all that stuff. But yet you told me not to get that. Now, I've heard this from console people too, but I've also heard this from PC people. And I thought PC was just the master race, but I was told not to get, that. And the only reason why I wanted it is because, number one, it has the XB1 controller or the 360 controller that came with it. I wasn't going to upgrade it. I was just going to get it and use it like a console. But everybody's like, no, don't get that, it's trash. Even the PC guys. So, moving on. Now, back to the whole 1080p thing. So, I made a video talking about the two, games on each platform that happen to be the best looking in most people's opinion, including my opinion. Rise. And then there's the Order 1886. So, of course, somebody comes to explain to me that the Order 1886 actually isn't 800p, but in fact, actually native 1080p. They started off by telling me that technically it's native 1080p due to the pixel density and that, because the bars are on there, it's more cinematic. It makes it like movie, and the movies are 1080p. But the last time somebody compared movies and video games, there was people shutting that down real quick. Oh no, see, because the movies, you only need 20-some frames per second in order for it to be real life, for it to move exactly how I move. But yet, if it's a video game, that's different because you're controlling it and you need to have 60 frames. But then you want to compare it to the movie then when it comes to 1080p though. I'm going to use the word that he used, technically. Technically, I have a third leg, but I can't walk with it, technically. Then you have Killzone, the black guy that's going to be a black guy for the whole entire generation of the PS4's life cycle. That game that was bragged upon by the Sony fanboys. And I'm not talking to you Sony fans. You'll never get this out of your head. You'll include yourself with me talking about you, but I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the fanboys. The ones that acted like this. Oh, that trash box that you got, we have Killzone. It's native 1080p. Native 1080p on both sides. 30 frames, 60 frames. We got that 30 frames, 60 frames, native 1080p. Yeah, you can tell the difference when you're looking at 1080p from 720p, blah, 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 and that, all that, all that jazz. This is how they was. Look at this. Freaking 1080p is beautiful. Them twats don't have 1080p. I can't wait to get back on forums and brag about this and how all this stuff is at 900 or 720p. Then months later, Digital Foundry breaks that down. What? It's still the best looking game out. It's still the best looking game out. Best multiplayer, best everything. What, are you kidding me? That is a fanboy. One minute you bragging about the native 1080p, the next minute you find out, and then what did the company do? Well, technically, it's native 1080p because it's temporal projection. Temporal projection? Was you watching Star Trek when you made that shit up? Temporal projection? Get the hell out of here. But you know what? I was going to go through my DVDs back then, because I have DVDs and I have Blu-rays. And I have a lot of DVDs, and I always wonder what the hell this was on the back of the box for. It would say some of the DVDs, like the movie with Will Smith in it, where he was playing Ali. It actually says master in HD, high definition. How was this mastered in high definition? There wasn't even any high definition TVs at the time. Nobody had high definition TV. We all had them big boy TVs like that. I have a whole slew of that DVDs back there that say mastered in high definition. So technically, I guess those are HD DVDs. Didn't know HD was coming on DVDs, but technically it must be. So before you come at the technically, And, you believed Killzone. I'm pretty sure you one of the guys who was probably out there slinging mud about Killzone being, 1080p native on both sides. And then, you got kicked in your nuts by, Digital Foundry. I know some of y'all probably want to put a hit out on them. And they came out and said, no. This ain't no 1080p. But it's temporal projection. And now they're being sued. Now, personally, like I said, I wouldn't sue them over that. But I understand the reason why people are suing. Because if you say this is what we're giving you, then this is what you're buying it for, then that's what you should get. I just had a problem with the fact that the game was boring. That was my only issue. Other than that, I didn't give a shit. I couldn't tell the difference from jumping from the single player to the multiplayer, except for the multiplayer was even worse than the single player, because most of the time I played, there was hardly anybody playing, and it was boring anyway. But as I always say, fanboys don't love their favorite system. They just hate yours. They love that temporal projection. They love that technically, and they believe everything they hear. And before I go out, that's on both sides, on both companies. All the companies will tell you shit and lie about it, and people just automatically believe it. So before you come back with the cloud processing and shit like that, just remember one thing. Mark Cerny said, it's not feasible, but we can do it too. So basically, he's just setting himself up for if Microsoft does this shit and it goes off with a bang, then they can come back and say, well, remember I did this interview, I said we can do it too. Then that's when all the Sony fanboys will jump over and say, well, we can do it too. Yeah, we can do it too. Wait a minute, because I'm going to do a video about the shit. I'm going to come right back and say, but wait a minute, you guys said that shit was a pipe dream. It was, Phantom in the Opera. It couldn't be done. Now all of a sudden, it can be done on your platform too. Because that's going to come as soon as Microsoft start doing shit from the cloud. And if the shit starts working, and I said if the shit works, there'll be a video. But as I always say, fanboys don't love their favorite system. They just hate yours. Temporal projection. Beam me up, Scotty. Peace.